by parasitic nutrition. Am I audible?
Ma'am, your voice is not clear.
Shibansh?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you're muted. You're on.
Okay. Abhinav, what do you mean by parasitic nutrition?
Parasitic nutrition is when the organism feeds on another organism, like without killing it.
Okay,
It
Ionisha, what is the
feeds on
name of
its
the
nutrition.
organism on which the parasite they will be feeding?
Ma'am, host.
Okay. Shayan, what do you mean by the saprophytic nutrition? Unmute yourself, Shayan.
Yes, saprophytic nutrition.
What they will be doing? They will be feeding on the dead and decay matter of the animals. Okay, so whatever the dead and decay matters are there, they will be feeding on that. So that is what the saprophytic nutrition is. So basically, in the last class, we have studied about the modes of nutrition. Autotrophic, where the organism will be preparing their own food. Second thing, the heterotrophic. In the heterotrophic, they will be dependent on the others. Third one, saprotrophic, where they will be feeding on the dead and decay organic material. The fourth thing, parasitic, they will be getting the nutrition from the other organism who is called as the host. Apart from that, is there anyone else like what we have studied in the flowchart form? Aman and Meher, good evening.
Good evening.
Turn on your video, Meher and Aman. Turn on your video.
Yes, ma'am, 1 minute.
Yeah. So apart from that, one more nutrition is there, which is the major one. What is the name of that?
Nutrition.
Very good, very good. So that is called as the holozoic nutrition. So in the case of the holozoic nutrition, we have basically the holozoic nutrition. So under the heterotrophic, we have the different categories, and among those categories, this holozoic is one of them. So what do we do? Like if, for example, if I want to eat chapati, so what I'm doing with the chapati, I'm taking it as such completely into my body.
You're breaking it into smaller pieces and then.
Correct. So I am breaking them into the smaller pieces, and then one by one, those pieces I will be taking into my body. So Damshu, Meher, and Aryan, turn on your video. So that is what we are doing, right? So small bit of those chapati or maybe anything. I want to eat pasta, pizza, burger. So those are what? They are the solid particles of food. So basically, holozoic type of nutrition means the nutrition by which we take the solid particles into our mouth. And with the help of what? With the help of what do we use?
Eat.
What do we use to take those particles?
Hand.
Hand, okay. So we'll be using those hands to take the food or the solid particles into our body. Clear? So holozoic type of nutrition is the nutrition in which we will be taking or the organism will be taking the solid particles through the hand into the mouth. Fine. So by the hand, we will be taking to which place? To the mouth. So just I'll repeat those things, whatever we have discussed. So we have discussed in the last class about the modes of nutrition, autotrophic and the heterotrophic, right? In the heterotrophic, then we have started discussing about the different types of it. And one type, the holozoic, was there. So holozoic type of nutrition basically means solid intake of particles into the mouth with the help of the hand. Fine. And we humans, what do? We follow the holozoic. till the 7th class, you have studied that we are, we have the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Clear? Yes, sir, right? So till 7th class, you have studied that you follow the heterotrophic. But under the heterotrophic also, which type of nutrition we are following?
Holozoic.
Holozoic. Fine. Now, if someone asks you, or if the question comes in the board exam, which type of nutrition we humans follow? So the answer will be holozoic type of nutrition. Fine. So under the heterotrophic, the holozoic type of nutrition we do follow in our system. Clear? So now this holozoic is further divided into how many categories? What are those categories? Last time we have discussed.
Herbivore, and omnivore.
Very good, Shubhansh. Herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore. Shudhamshu, what is carnivore? Who are the carnivores?
Animal which it animals which are vegetarian,
Carnivores.
which eat both veg and non-veg.
Ma'am, can I
No.
say?
Yes, Abhinav.
Animals which feed on other animals by killing them.
So basically, they will be feeding on the flesh of the other animals. Zoha, what do you mean by omnivores?
Animals that eat both plants and other flesh.
Okay, good. Meher, what do you mean by herbivores?
Ma'am, they make their own food, I guess.
Okay, so what do? They eat basically the plants. Fine.
Yes.
So either the plants or the plant products they will be feeding on. So let me share the screen. We'll discuss like last time what we did, and now we'll be continuing with the same topic. I hope the screen is visible, children. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So last time we have discussed about the modes of nutrition, two major modes, autotrophic, heterotrophic, and under heterotrophic we have discussed three types of it. The first one was the saprotrophic, then the second one was the parasitic, and third one was the holozoic. So now what we are going to do in the whole chapter, the autotrophic mode of nutrition and the holozoic mode of nutrition we will be studying. So this holozoic is divided into three: herbivores, carnivores, and the omnivores. So now let's start with the first very important topic now, which is the nutrition in plants. So the first topic is nutrition in plants. This nutrition in plants basically what type of mode using? They will be using autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now, if I say that use autotrophic mode of nutrition, what they can do? They can what do?
They can make their own food.
Yes, they can do. Another network problem on my side today. So I'll share the screen again. Okay. So nutrition plants, as we know what they will be doing, they will be following the autotrophic mode of nutrition. And if we say they follow the autotrophic, it means they can prepare their own food. Now tell me the name of the process by which they prepare their own food. What is the name of that process?
Photosynthesis.
It is called as photosynthesis. This is very important topic for your board examination. Almost every year they usually ask photosynthesis either for the 1 mark or 2 marks. Not the definition of it, but from this particular topic. Fine. So this is a little big topic. So what we are going to discuss now in today's class. Fine. So okay, one by one, you tell me first of all, what do you know? Because I think in the grade 7 you have learned a lot about it, right? So you tell me what do you understand by photosynthesis?
Ma'am, can I?
Someone else. Siddhi, could you tell me something about photosynthesis? Anything, whatever you are aware
Ma'am,
of?
I,
Siddhi? So anything about the photosynthesis? Meher, turn on your video. Sudhamshu, turn on your video. Okay, Aman, you tell me about photosynthesis.
By ma'am, plants produce glucose you by absorbing sunlight.
Okay, the plants, what they will be doing? They will be producing the glucose by absorbing sunlight. So that is what the photosynthesis is. Anything, anyone else want to add
they
on something,
also
some other
need
point?
they also need carbon dioxide and water.
Okay, fine. So 1 point Aman has said, 1 point or 2 points Shubhansh has said. Any other point, Aryan, you want to add on? Shayan, turn on your video. Sudhamshu, yeah, Zuha?
Ma'am, they
Yeah.
they prepare for their food in the presence of sunlight.
Okay, that is already done actually. He has said. Zuha, you tell me your point.
Ma'am, they produce oxygen.
They produce oxygen. Great. Okay, fine. That is also one of the points required for it. Any other thing they produce apart from the oxygen or the glucose,
Ma'am, carbon dioxide gets reduced into carbohydrates.
which is basically the glucose only. Any other thing apart from the glucose and the oxygen, they will be producing.
Ma'am, they use energy in the form of sugar.
Okay, they use the energy in the form of sugar. So what do they do with that?
Ma'am, it's a photochemical reaction.
Okay, it is a photochemical reaction since the chemicals as well as the light is included in that. Okay,
Ma'am,
so
there's
Water
no
one
much.
molecule
point
gets split.
everybody. Okay, the water molecule will get displaced. So ultimately, what happened? Ultimately, through the whole process, the food is a major component. And what type of metabolism it is? Keta or ana?
Yeah.
Anabolism it is or
And
catabolism it is?
And
Anabolism. Anabolism, not keta. It is anabolism because smaller molecules of carbon dioxide, water, and the energy, they are joining together to produce the glucose.
ma'am, could you just once explain respiration, ma'am?
Respiration?
Yes, ma'am, that was a separate homework.
ma'am,
Our
chemistry
chemistry
ma'am
homework.
asked us to.
Okay.
And also,
See, if I talk
ma'am,
about, yes.
and also, ma'am, we need to in exam, ma'am. That's why I'll keep a definitions.
Okay. So basically, respiration is a process, is a biochemical process in which the glucose will be break down.
Ma'am, 1 minute.
Okay. So respiration is a biochemical process through which the glucose will break down either in the absence or presence of oxygen. So it is a process in which the glucose will break down either in the presence of oxygen or in the absence of oxygen to form energy. So with the help of respiration, what happens? The glucose, whatever we are taking or whatever food we are taking, it will break down so that we can get the energy out of it. That is what the respiration is. Now coming back to my topic, photosynthesis. So Okay. So I hope the screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So discovering photosynthesis, basically about the photosynthesis, what we are going to learn now. The process behind plants producing their own food and oxygen. So photosynthesis is basically a process through which what happened, the plants will be producing their own food and they will be releasing the oxygen at the same time. Now, the question is, what is photosynthesis? So, photosynthesis is a process used by plants to create their own food. So, in this process, what happened? Plants will be creating their own food with the help of the raw materials. So, there are the raw materials. In the board exams, they ask this question also. Question number one, define photosynthesis. Question number two, it can be write the raw materials required for the photosynthesis. So, what are the raw materials required? Sunlight is the first one, water is the second one, carbon dioxide is the third one, and one more is required. What is the fourth one?
Minerals.
Apart from these, no, apart from sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, one very, very important.
Ma'am, water.
No, water I have already told you, Aryan. Sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, green color.
Ma'am,
What is
chloro.
the green?
Chlorophyll.
Yeah, chlorophyll. So these are the four major raw materials required for the photosynthesis. First is sunlight, second is water, third is carbon dioxide, and the fourth is chlorophyll. Right? So these are the four raw materials. Now, if they ask you to write four raw materials, sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll are the four raw materials. Now, from where do we get the sunlight? From where do the plants will be getting sunlight? From the what is the major source of sunlight?
Sun, ma'am.
Sun.
Sun. Fine. Sun is the ultimate source of energy. Write it down. Again, a very, very important question. This is name the ultimate source of energy for the plants. This is again a one marker question. So, name the ultimate source of energy for the plants. The answer is sunlight. Sun is the ultimate source of the energy. So what the plants will be doing? Plants use sunlight to capture energy. So whatever the sun rays are coming, what the plants will be doing? They will be taking all amount of sunlight. And then there are the chlorophylls present where in the leaf. So in the leaf, what do they have? They have the chlorophyll.
Chloroplast.
Yeah. So chlorophyll in the leaf, basically a leaf is an what? Is an organ. Fine. Leaf is an organ. In this leaf, there is a site called as chloroplast. So I'll just first of all tell you this what is actually. Now we know about the leaf, right? Leaf is what? Leaf is the organ. Now here the photosynthesis will be occurring. But actually what is happening? We know that photosynthesis occur in the leaf. But in the leaf also there is a part called as the chloroplast. Fine. In the chloroplast, what do they have? They have what? They have the chlorophyll. Clear? So leaf is basically the organ where the photosynthesis will be occurring. The chloroplast is the site where the photosynthesis occur. So if in the exam they ask you name the organ where photosynthesis occur, the answer will be the leaf. But if they ask you name the site for photosynthesis, the answer will be what? It will be the chloroplast. So in the chloroplast, the photosynthesis occur. Understood difference between the organ and the site? Sudhamshu, Siddhi, Ayonija, Shubhansh, Abhinav, Zoha, Shayan, Meher. Understood?
Understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Understood.
ma'am.
Fine. So till 7th grade, we were learning that leaf is basically responsible for that. But inside the leaf, we have the chloroplast, which is basically the site of photosynthesis. Fine. So conditions which are necessary, or I can say the raw materials which are necessary for photosynthesis are the sunlight, then the chlorophyll, then the carbon dioxide, and the last one is the water. So as you all have said, the sunlight we will be getting from the sun, which is correct. Now coming to the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll, where it is present?
Chloroplast in chloro.
Chloroplast, or we will be in the leaf, it will be there. Fine, in the So I can say like vessels. You might have seen the vessels in your home, right? Now these vessels, you have the different size of it. Maybe a 2 liter, 1.5 liter vessel you have, and then 0.5 liter you have. Now what happened basically? This is what? This is the chlorophyll. The smallest one is the chlorophyll. Covering the chlorophyll is what? The chloroplast. And now where these chloroplasts are present? They are also present in a cell which are called as the mesophyll cells. So like this, learn it. So it is like the vessels, three different size you have. The inner one is the chlorophyll. The second one is called as a chloroplast, and third one is the mesophyll. Now in the mesophyll, the chloroplasts are there. In the chloroplast, what is there?
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll. Understood? So this is just an example to explain you. I have given you this 2 liter, 1.5 liter, 0.5 liter. But actually, the outer one will be mesophyll. In the mesophyll, chloroplasts are there. And in the chloroplast, the chlorophyll will be there. So in this chloroplast, this photosynthesis will be happening. Now, from where does this carbon dioxide come?
Ma'am, through air only.
Air.
Through air, right? So we humans, what we do, we are releasing the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, or the other animals also they release into the atmosphere. Through that they will be getting it. Now this water comes from
Soil.
soil. Fine, so through the soil they will be getting it. So these are the conditions which are important for it. So sunlight, plants will be using sunlight to capture energy, and a plant leaves contain a pigment called as chlorophyll, which absorbs sunlight. So if they ask you what is the special character of the chlorophyll, the special characteristics of chlorophyll is to absorb the sunlight. Imagine now if any plant does not have the chlorophyll, so will that leaf will be able to absorb the sunlight?
No, ma'am.
If no chlorophyll is present, then no sunlight absorption will be there. That is why it is important to have the chlorophyll. Now, leaf called as stomata. So stomata are what? They are tiny pores present on the surface of leaf. So basically on the surface of leaf, small so I think again I was logged off. So carbon dioxide basically they are taken in by the plants through the opening called as the stomata. Have you ever heard the word stomata?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it helps in the process of.
Ma'am, those are the tiny pores on the leaves
Very
near
good.
the
And
gut
this
cells.
stomata is very important question for the board exam. For 3 marks. 1 marks is for the definition of stomata, and 2 marks, what do they ask? They ask for the 2 functions of it. Fine. So you should know stomata, what it is, and what are the 2 functions of it. So first thing, the definition of stomata. Stomata, they are They are the tiny pores present on the where? Present on the surface of leaves. So basically, they are the tiny pores. Where they will be present? They are present on the surface of leaves. Now, two major functions of it are the first thing, they helps in exchange of gases. What do? They help in exchange of gases. So inside them, they will be taking the CO2, and what do they release? They release the oxygen outside the atmosphere in the air, right? The major function is the first one, it helps in exchange of gases. Carbon dioxide they will be taking inside, and at the same time, they will be releasing the oxygen gas outside, and this oxygen will be used by us. The second function is the transpiration. Now, what do you mean by transpiration? Have you ever heard this word transpiration?
Exchange of gases.
Ma'am,
No, transpiration.
ma'am,
Trans-
removal of excess water, ma'am.
Yes, removal access.
Great, great, right, correct. So, transpiration is basically removal of excess water. From where it has to be removed?
Ma'am, stomata.
From the leaves, okay? From the stomata, from the leaves, okay, you can say. So, removal of excess water from the leaves in the form of what form?
Evaporation.
Water
No, water droplets actually, in the form of water droplets. A very simple example I'll tell you about this. In the morning time, when you go outside, you might have seen small, drops of the water on the leaves. Have you seen that? I think everybody might have seen it, right? So those small drops of water, why it comes actually? They are the extra water which is removed by the leaf. Fine. So extra water, removal of extra water from the leaves in the form of the water droplets, and those water droplets you are able to see on the surface of leaf in the next day time. Correct? That is what the transpiration. Now, this is the first question, as I told you, like define stomata and the two functions of it. Apart from this, sometimes what do they do is they give you one picture. One picture, I'll explain you a picture and you should tell me what is the name of that process called as. Now, I have a pot. Okay, I have a pot. That pot, I'm covering the maybe one stem of that pot with a polythene cover. Okay, one stem, maybe this much size of stem, I'm covering it with the polythene cover. Now you should tell me what is the name of the process which will happen inside that polythene cover.
Ma'am,
And
you
after
cut
some
off
time,
the stem.
no, I did not cut the stem. Actually, I just covered it with the help of the polythene cover. And after certain time, after few hours, I was able to see some droplets. So what those droplets are all about? Through which process?
transpiration.
Transpiration. Fine. So I hope you are aware that nowadays CBSE is slowly and gradually changing into the competency based question. Have you ever heard this word competency based questions? No. Aryan is saying no. Abhinav is saying no. Zoha, have you ever heard? Shayan, have you ever heard word competency? No. Meher, have you ever heard the word competency?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Aman, have you ever heard that word?
No, ma'am.
Ayunisha?
Yes, ma'am.
So many times. So many times I think you might have heard the word competency, I guess. Fine. Okay, I'll just let me explain about the competency word first of all. So what was happening and what is happening in the CBSE, I'll just tell you. Earlier it was like, they used to give the direct question. Like define this, define that, write the function of this, write the function of that. All those things were given directly. So as like child can score marks. Now, but what happens in that case? Maybe Abhinav is very good in studies. He's understanding the concept and then he's writing in his own word. But at the same time, I am not like that. I am not understanding the concept. I'm just mugging up and writing the concept. But what is happening? I am not understanding, but I'm getting good marks. He's understanding and not getting good marks. Which is right, which is okay, or no? No, right? So that is why now CBSE, according to the National Education Policy, what they did is they are, just removing this gap so that those who are really understanding the concept, They should apply it and they should get the good marks. And those who are mugging up, they should get good marks, but not as compared to them actually good marks, right? So that is how they give the question. They will be giving a diagram. On the basis of diagram, you should tell the process. So it was very easy. So you have studied about the transpiration, that removal of extra water from the surface of the leaf in the form of water droplets. Now, if you are aware of the definition, definitely then you can identify the diagram and you can write about it. Correct? So this is what the competency-based question will be. Now, okay, one more question I'll ask you. Have you ever thought like how the bread comes? Which process do they follow it? What's the name of the process through which the bread will be made? In the class 8th, you might have
Fermentation.
studied fermentation, right? Have you ever thought like that? No, correct. So slowly and gradually in the upcoming classes, we will be learning in that way only. So not directly. So still now, see, he knows. So Shwansh has known, like he knows it. It is fermentation process, but we never thought how the bread comes. We know that maida will be there. The maida they will be grinding and they will be making the bread out of it. But no. So there is a process called as fermentation. Through that process, what happened? With the help of the yeast, they will be converting them into the bread. Because what do the yeast they do? They will be releasing the carbon dioxide gas, and through which that whole dough will be converted into the bread. Understood? Abhinav, your mother is making dosa at home,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay. Then
It
what type of
rises because
process?
of fermentation.
Yes, understood. So this is what actually the competency. Each and every day we are, understanding the concept. So those concept application is known as when we apply those concepts into reality. That is what the competency based questions are. Clear?
Ma'am, I also have a doubt regarding stomata.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am,
Tell me,
like
Aman.
why do most plants have
Abhinav.
stomata behind, like below the leaf?
So as they can take it easily actually. If they don't have it, if the more number of stomatas are there in the upper surface, then what happens? The congestion will be there. They will not be getting it properly. And more amount of flight will be coming, but the breathing will be less, right? If directly on your body something is coming, can you do both the process in the same case? No, right? You also need some kind of relaxation. So once that light is entering at the blow side, then they are converting them into the exchange of gases.
Ma'am, could you repeat,
So they
ma'am?
do the transpiration from the upper side and gaseous exchange
Both
from
the side, both the side, both the
two
side
sides.
actually. And they do it in the night time, basically. Transpiration, most of the time, it will be done in the night time according to the client.
Ma'am, the stomata will be on both sides.
Yes, stomata will be on both sides, but most of the stomatas will be on the, if I talk about the numbers of it, it will be on the lower epidermis of it.
Ma'am, lower epidermis, like once again, could you say why, ma'am? I'll note.
Okay. So lower epidermis, what happens? Exchange of gases at a higher rate. At the lower epidermis, the exchange of gases will be at the higher rate. So that is the reason that they are present mostly in the lower epidermis.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
like in winter, there is a lot of fog, so there is a lot of water vapors in the atmosphere. So the transpiration process
Correct.
occurs during day and night both, or just depending on the temperature?
Depending upon the temperature actually, because it depends on the sunlight also. If sunlight is much, then what happens? The droplets, you will not be able to find it. So that is what is happening right now. So we are getting more amount of sunlight, that transpiration is less. But when less amount of sunlight is there, the rate of transpiration will be more.
Okay,
So it is
ma'am.
opposite. It is opposite. If sun rays are more, transpiration will be less. If sun rays are less, the transpiration will be more.
Okay.
So coming to the next one now, photosynthesis reaction. Photosynthesis reaction converts this carbon dioxide and water into the glucose and oxygen. And where do they convert it? What is given in the box?
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast. Again, a very, very important thing. Name the site of the photosynthesis, chloroplast. So in the chloroplast, this all things are happening. Now, glucose production. The photosynthesis reaction produces glucose which provide energy for the plant. So as soon as the glucose are being produced by the plants, what do the plant they will be getting? They will be getting the energy. Now, sometimes what happened to us, if too much of eating we are doing, how do we feel then after eating a lot? So after eating a lot, what happens to our body? What
Tummy
happens?
will become full.
Now our tummy will become full.
Our
Don't we
body will
feel
become
tired after
lazy.
it? Correct. Our body will become lazy. So today Ionija's mother has prepared a very tasty dish called as chula bhatura, and that is what she did is actually she keep on eating that. Ultimately, what happened? After eating a lot, she felt tired. So rather than gaining the energy, she is now feeling so lazy. But in the plants, what they are doing? They are producing the glucose, they are producing the food in the form of glucose, and whatever the amount they want in the form of energy, and they are using it. Remaining amount of energy, they are storing with them in the form of starch. Very, very important. So, starch is basically the energy reserve in plants. So name the energy reserve in plants. The answer is what? The starch. So they have made what? They have made the glucose. So some of the glucose they have used for the energy. Now for further process, they do not need the energy. So that energy will be stored in the form of
Starch.
starch. Fine. So once maybe I have 10 toffees in my hands, okay? Out of those 10 toffees, I need only 5 to eat. Fine. After eating 5 toffees, what happened? My tummy was full. Now those 5 toffees, I will be storing it in the form of the starch. Understood how the plants they work? So some amount of energy in the form of glucose, they will be using it, and the remaining amount, they will be storing it in the form of the starch. Very, very important question this is. Name the energy reserve in plants. The answer is the starch. Am I clear? Meher, Siddhi, Shubhansh, Riddhi, Aman, Shayan, Zoha, Aryan, Abhinav, Ayuniza, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So that is what is happening in the plants. Now, fast, tell me, name the organ for the photosynthesis. What is the name of the organ?
Leaf.
Leaf. What is the site of photosynthesis?
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast.
Tiny pores on the leaf.
Tomato.
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 What are the two functions of stomata?
Transpiration and
Transpiration and exchange
gases.
of gases.
Okay, one more question I have now. The plants are releasing, extra water in the form of transpiration. What happens? Why it is important for them to do so? After the transpiration, what happens?
Because ma'am, during photosynthesis, even water gets produced, right? Like, even they have to
Okay,
do with too much water.
okay. But what happens actually after removing the extra water, the body of the plants cool down. Understood? So it's like when in the summers we are producing the sweat. When the sweat moves out of our body, what happens? We will be feeling a little relaxed. Our body becomes cool. Same way, when they remove all that extra water outside, the body of the plants become cool. Fine. So this is what is called as a cooling effect. So if they
Ma'am,
ask you, hmm,
does this come under respiration?
transpiration basically. So after the
Ma'am,
transpiration, this is happening.
I think that's what chemistry ma'am meant because she wanted an exothermic reaction. It's like
That is
cooling.
different actually. Endothermic and exothermic both are different. The concepts are right. So respiration here is basically in the bioterm, it means producing the energy in the presence or absence of oxygen. Fine. And the chemistry term, it's about the energy, either the gaining energy, either the losing of energy. Fine. So during the case of the transpiration, what happened after releasing the extra water, the plants will become cool, which is also called as a cooling effect. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Meher, what are the four raw materials we required for the photosynthesis?
Ma'am, sunlight, water,
Hmm. Hmm.
sunlight, water, chlorophyll.
Hmm.
Ma'am, I don't know the fourth one.
fourth one, very important. We also get the rays. Sunlight, water, chlorophyll, one more. One more. We don't require it in our body. We release it outside. Which gas?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Okay. Aman, what is the site of photosynthesis?
Ma'am, it's chloroplast.
Okay. Aryan, organ of photosynthesis?
Leaf.
Okay. Abhinav, what is the color of the chlorophyll?
Green.
Okay. Ionija, what are the two functions of stomata?
Exchange of gases and transpiration.
Jyoti, what is transpiration?
Ma'am, the loss of excess water from the surface of the leaves.
Okay. Zoha, what do you mean by stomata?
Stomata is the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaf.
Okay, all right. So Abhinav, Aryan, Aman, Ionija, Shayan, Zoha, Siddhi. So last time I told you that you need to send me the notes, right? Complete notes of the last week. So make sure that today you send me the homework as well as the notes of the work done, whatever we
Ma'am,
have done
today's
till now.
homework.
Okay. Today's homework, I have already, I'll be posting it after the class. Only one question I have given. Okay, we'll meet you then on Thursday.
Ma'am,
Okay.
Okay,
Send me
ma'am.
the
Today we
work
should
also.
share.
Yeah, today you
Ma'am.
have to share actually the last week work. Yeah, enough.
Yes.
Okay,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
is there a definition for respiration related to chemistry?
you,
Like, ma'am meant like exothermic. I'm not kind of
That you need
getting
to
it,
work
ma'am.
on.
Exothermic.
No, you think on. Endo means inside.
Yes,
Exo means
ma'am.
outside.
Endothermic here, ma'am mentioned like heat is
Hmm.
absorbed. Exothermic
Yeah.
is when heat is released. And how does
Yes.
respiration get like linked to it?
Imagine energy. And when energy is released, what happened in that case? The heat will be released or
Also
absorbed?
gets released. Gets released.
Then,
Okay.
yes. Fine. So that is how it is related.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, children, then.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Welcome. Bye-bye.